Hey everyone, drawing a blank. Hey everybody, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and we're back for weekly update number 19. 19. Crazy, 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 crazy. Let's kind of hop right into it, and we'll start off with week in review. So this is the section of the video where I'm going to talk about what's been going on in the warehouse, what's coming up, things like that, and a few things. First off, this past Saturday was hopefully the last regular, consistent Saturday where I need to come in order to get caught up on stuff. I've been spending the last, I don't know, pretty much every Saturday so far this year coming in to work on something for the most part, whether it be packing orders or setting up new shelving, bin racks, reorganizing things, stuff like that. And I'm finally caught up on all those projects, which is an awesome feeling. I'm probably going to plan on coming in maybe once or twice a week, or a month rather, on and do things like that. There's always going to be a little bit extra stuff, but I think I'm caught up, so I can actually start getting caught up at home with all the stuff I've been neglecting for the longest time. The other really interesting new thing this week is we'll talk about it in restocks, but we got Mr. Color in, Mr. Color, Gundam Color. There's a few other Mr. Color lines we don't have yet, but I set up a new rack. In fact, it looks like it's in frame back over here, and got that all set up. Huge project to get all that stuff kind of set up, checked in, and ready to go for the restock. But it's a kind of a big happening. We're planning on getting the Aqueous line, Aqueous, whatever it is. And I think there might be a few other lines that we'll have too. And so that stuff will be in stock today when you're seeing this. And I'm looking forward to adding more product lines and stuff like that. And then the only other thing that's been on my mind lately is actually that I'm starting to think about hiring a videographer or a media assistant or whatever you want to call it, somebody to help me edit videos, shoot videos, stuff like that. Mostly because I'm starting to come to the realization that I'm probably never actually going to get the time I want to create the content I want. I would love to be putting out at least one more video a week on detailed subjects, comparing and contrasting different tools, maybe kit reviews, probably not kit reviews, but, going in depth and providing more information and value. And I don't think I can do that. I've been meaning to shoot a video on this whole video setup for like 2 months now, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. And I'm coming to the realization that I probably never will have the time where it feels good to take time on the content, because there's so many other things that need to be done. And so if I want to get consistent, I think I'm going to need help. Problem with that is I need part-time help. I'm not ready for a full-time person. And when I tried looking before, it was really hard to find a gunpla person that was local, wanted to come in and do the work, and had the requisite skill set. So I'm just kind of throwing this out there. I'm starting to think about this and starting to think about opening that search again. But if you happen to be a gunpla builder or know a gunpla builder who's in the southern New Hampshire area, maybe even a little bit further away, I would love to get a hold of you and talk about the position. And I'm gonna be right back because the battery's about to die. All right, I'm back. So that was lame. They got a battery bar, and it goes from 3 bars down to 2 bars down to flashing red inside of like 20 seconds. Not helpful at all. It might as well just be a single on-off indicator. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so media assistant videographer. So anyway, I'm looking for somebody local. I would love to have somebody who could come in 10 to 20 hours a week. I'm still thinking about this. Maybe I could get somebody remote to do it, because most of the work's actually editing. There are a few cases though where I'd love somebody here, and I think the hardest part is tight deadlines. Like I'm shooting this video at almost 11 on a Thursday. I'd want to have this scheduled before the end of the day, as well as all my ads and clips cut out of it and scheduled before the end of the day, which doesn't leave a ton of time for that back and forth and uploading the videos and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where that leaves me. One of the only problem I really had with the videographer I had before she, the video editor I had before she kind of moved on, was purely the trying to sync up timelines. The last thing I want is to be up at 11:30 at night worried whether or not the video for the next day is going to be up and ready in time. So anyway, that's the deal with that. So we're going to move on. Next, we're going to talk about pre-orders. I haven't talked about pre-orders in a while, mostly because the next big batch of pre-orders I plan on having, I have to wait to find out. They changed their process at Bluefin. It's a long story. But what I do have is an interesting new line that we're going to be trying out, and I'll offer them up for pre-orders for anybody who's interested, and that's the Gundam Artifact line. And if you're not familiar, it's new as of like September last year. I think it was announced. I think in Japan they rolled out in January this year. But basically they're little 2-inch Gundam miniatures. They're multiple piece little models. And I think they might even come with like a stick of gum in the box. It's basically like the Gundam candy model kind of thing. It's from Shokugan is the brand within Bandai that makes them. And the first set, there's 5 models. There's a Rick Diaz, an EXS, a High New, a Nightingale, and Byerland Custom. And basically, you can, I think they're intended to be sold individually. This is the kind of thing you might have on a shelf or counter somewhere, but the way they're packaged in the box, I can't order just one of those. I have to order a box of 10 that has some random-ish distribution of those 5 models. I think there's a fixed distribution per case or something. It's a lot of complexity in the back end, but we'll probably be selling them as either a box of 10, where you can get 10 of the individual pieces. So you might end up with like 2 Rick Diaz's and EXS and whatever that ratio is. And we'll probably also try selling them as individuals as well, just to see how that works out. And availability will be kind of dependent on, which ones we have in quantity or whatever. So an interesting thing, the pre-orders may or may not be up by the time this video is live. There's a good chance that it's not, but if you are interested, the way to get a pre-order was to actually contact me, send me a DM, an email, nick@mechawarehouse.com, whatever works for you. We still do all our pre-orders manually, but I'd be more than happy to get you the rest of the details and help you get set up if you want to pre-order them. And I'll hopefully have shown pictures on the screen of these things. They look pretty cool. I kind of want to play with a few. 2 inches is a pretty good size. Not huge, but maybe a little bigger than the typical tabletop gaming miniature. But it's be pretty cool. They're come in 1-color plastic, and it'll be interesting to see what people do with those, especially people with miniature painting backgrounds and such. Anyway, let's move on to restocks. Restocks I'm super excited about this week. So first off, before I start showing off kits, Mr. Color, we got the main Mr. Color line, the Gundam colors as well. We got more coming in the future, but we've got a pretty good representation of those lines. We are out of stock or didn't get stock for certain colors that weren't available, but we have really good coverage. I think we got far more of them in stock than we don't have, which is kind of a cool way to start out. We also got a Vallejo restock in, and that's awesome too. We've been gradually trying to piece back together and filled the Vallejo rack again. We kind of sold out of a lot of it a while back, and it's been slow going trying to get stuff back in, but we should be hopefully back at full stock before we know it. And the one other kit that I want to mention, or kind of kit, is we do have Action Base 1 Black back in stock. We've been kind of low on Action Bases. Action Base 1 is a very popular one, great for master grades, and so black is a commonly popular color there. Kits. So we got a ton of kits in, mostly high grades, but we got a master grade and a real grade as well. And some of these are stuff we've had. Some of these are stuff that we have never had before. But so much stuff that I thought it wise to just roll the whole cart over here to make things easier for me. So starting with things we haven't had in stock here at Mecha Warehouse before, we got the high grade Jesta. We've had the Jesta Cannon. I don't know why we haven't had the Jesta other than just timing, I guess. That's going to be a super popular kit, just as are awesome. We've got the Charzaku. This is high grade UC number 32. This is an old kit compared to a lot of the other ones. So I think this is like, you know, poor articulation and all that kind of stuff. But if you are into older kits and kits that need more love, that is a good one. Also got the old high grade Dom, Rick Dom. This is number 59 in the line, so it's not quite as old. I imagine it's still going to be not as great, although it's a Dom, so a lot of Doms have trouble with articulation anyway because they're big bulky suits. New releases, well, this is a new release, the Kotetsu Jag. I'm not familiar with the, I think this is from the whole Mazinger kind of dynamic characters line. I'm not sure anything about it really. Looks kind of interesting. It's got that same kind of style. It's one of those infinitism kits. So it's pretty cool. This one is not a new release, but new to Mecha Warehouse, the Gunnerzaku Warrior Luna Marie version. This is, I believe, a popular kit, so it'll be interesting to see how these sell. We got a bunch in, but I wouldn't wait super long considering how sparse master grades have been lately. We also got in the RG Last Shooting Zeong effect set. So this is a Zeong, the RG Zeong that we got in stock last week with all the effects. It looks really interesting. It's got parts to play it with a what is it, the RX-78 to kind of relive that famous scene from the show. I don't know, interesting kit. Excited to have it in stock. We still have the RG Zeong left. We still have some left of that too, if you weren't looking for all the effects. So restocks though, we've had these ones before. This is the HG Full Armor Unicorn, the HG Titans version of the Mark II. I think we have the EUG one in as well. We got that one in a few weeks ago. RG Ava Unit 2 back in stock. Let's go next with the HG Hyakushiki and the HG Gun Cannon. So we got some newer high grades in there as well. Relatively modern. And then the high grade Leo. And I want to talk about this one for a moment because this is, I think, the high grade Leo, high grade Maganak are two of my favorite high grades. They're just really solid kits. They are great to build, great to paint because they're pretty easy to put together. They're kind of designed for army building, so to speak. So they're a great first kit for somebody who wants something beyond like an SD or an entry grade or something like that. Great for painting, and I mean, who doesn't love the Leo? A lot of us grew up as Gundam Wing fans, I think. So it's a great one there. So that's it for restocks. I'm going to move on to Q&A. I've got only a couple questions this week, and then we'll call it good. I got to get to editing this up because I am on my own today. So I got 2 questions this week. So kind of to reiterate, Q&A is when I answer questions from you. If you have a question you want answered, I'm kind of sparse on questions this week. I would love to have a bunch more questions for next week. Ask it down in the comments below, and I'll try to get to it if I can. So the first question I have is, thanks for all that you do, Nick. Question for next week's video. Did you get an MG Tall Geese 2 from P Bandai? Geese Gang. So this, I think the Tall Geese 2 went up on P Bandai. I think it was Thursday night, so this was not long after that. And yes, I did. I got really lucky, honestly, because I wasn't aware it was going to be coming back. I knew I wanted one if it did. I saw some other random post on Instagram from whoever mentioning, I think it was the Death Scythe Rosette coming out again and being reprinted, and I was just like, oh, if there's another reprint, I should go check what's there. And I saw it, and so I jumped on it. I think I bought 2. It's like anything worth having is worth having 2 of, especially these P Bandai kits that come and go. And so I'm excited. So now I think I have either on hand or coming all of the EW versions of all the master grades in the Gundam Wing. I don't have all the Glory Losers stuff and all the other fancy stuff, but I've got, you know, all the regular releases and all the standard P Bandai releases from a while back. And so that'll be exciting. Can't wait to finish building out the Heavy Arms Custom, the Sandrock Custom, the Ultron, Tall Geese 2 and 3. I think that's it. I've also got the Sandrock Armadillo, which looks like that'll be a really cool kit to build and paint. And the Heavy Arms E-Gel unit as well. So anyway, great question. Thank you, Shay. And the other question is from Justin Carmine. Carmine. I can't pronounce anything. He asks on his response, this was actually on Facebook. He was responding to, I think, a clip of me answering the question from last week about what my least favorite design was. And he asks, but what's your favorite ugly design? This is another great question, really hard question. I gave him a bit of a ribbon for giving me such a hard question. I don't know. Ugly is in the eye of the beholder, so it's kind of a paradox, because if I thought it was ugly, I wouldn't like it. So I guess the question's really about what's a suit or design that is commonly thought of ugly that I like, I think is how I would interpret that. And I don't know. I should have thought about this one. I don't know. I think the Byerlink Custom might come to mind, because that's kind of a weird, awkward suit that's not really necessarily sleek. So maybe that would be it. I don't know why, other than just I think it kind of looks a little bit cool. So maybe it's not ugly. I don't know. I feel like the paradox in this question is the problem. What's your favorite ugly design? I'm curious. Anyway, so that's what I got for questions. And I want to thank you all for watching. If you've got a question, please post it down below. I'll try to get to it next time. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Have a good one.